Hello, Antonio. Thank you for the time you're going to give me here to let you know what you can earn possibly with being a distributor with Jeunesse. Now, this is what we call our e-commerce estimator, and I want to draw your attention over here to this little note. The figures included herein are estimations using inputs from the person requesting the estimate, and that is you. This is today's date, and we have your name right here. Now notice, input variables in yellow. Anything that's in yellow in this somewhat complicated spreadsheet is simply the inputs from you. And you can see it's very small compared to the other calculations or estimations that are here. Now, I want to draw your attention to this little line right here. All you do is introduce people to this opportunity. Once they join, you train them and you coach them, and they become your e-partners. The more e-partners and how well they're trained and they're coached, that can mean money, a lot of money to you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this in summary, like we say here. Now, once that you have joined our team and would like to have a more detailed explanation of how this works, your upline can do that for you. You just contact them and set up a private session, and they will do a detailed explanation. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start out here and realize that we're in, let's say, month one. What happens is we want to know how many people that you think you can bring in to this business. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you a question, Antonio. How much money would you like to be earning by your 12th month in this business on a residual basis?
Well, Lee, I was thinking $10,000 a month would be nice. Is that possible to earn with this company?
Yes, it is. And that's a very popular number. A lot of people that are in direct sales choose $10,000 a month. So let's try to hit that number. Let's try to get 10,000 right here. And the way we do that is just like I said, inputs on these various yellow components, and we'll let you know how that works. So I'm going to throw a number in here. Do you think you could do three people per month in just as a level like per month throughout this first year?
Well, working probably more than part time, but almost full time, sure, three people should be reasonable.
Okay, let's put three people in there then. Now, just putting three people in, running it through the calculators, estimators here through the compensation system, you're already up to $4,682.
Oh, wow, that's almost halfway there.
That's right, halfway there. Now, let's look at how this works. These people that you bring in are your new e-partners that you've introduced to the business. Accumulate those throughout the 12 months, that would be 36 people. You see that?
Yeah, yeah, I see that.
Okay, now, what happens though in the direct sales business? Only about 20% will do the work. 80% just fall away. So we've put a factor in here. We call it our e-business partners factor of 0.20 or 20%. We take that 36 and it comes down to 7.2. That's not that many people, is it?
No, but I understand what's happening here.
Okay. So what happens, we then change their names. They're not just e-partners, they're e-business partners. These people are serious. They're there to make money. All your calculations below are built on e-business partners. So if you accumulate that down 7 levels, let's say, and we just picked 7 levels just for this estimate because in a year's time, the average person can get down 7 levels. Some get a lot more, but let's just pick 7. If you take these numbers here down 7 levels, you're up to 328 people. You can see how the math progresses here.
Yeah, now that's because of the 7.2 total people that are adding to my group.
Yes, the 7.2 will go in and bring in their people at a 20% factor. They'll bring in people at a 20% factor. Basically, going all the way down at a 20% factor, it comes out to being 328.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. I never would have thought that.
Okay, well, we call those your team or YT for a code here, okay? Now just keep in mind, this is what you can bring in by just doing three. And you see the relative number. That's $4,682 on a residual basis. Now, going on from here down, I'm not going to go into detail with this, but I'm just going to say you have two legs, two e-stores, one e-store 1, e-store 2. You can bring in not only just standard distributors, you might know some large networkers out there that can actually do the same as you or even better. You can factor that up. So what we can do is right here is we can put one in the left leg, say one in the right leg, and let's go down here and let's look and see what that does. If this is 1, that means they're going to do the same, let's say, performance as you do. So now you can see you're at $5,972.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, let's go through and let's, no, wait, there's something not right here.
You got to move off of number 9.
Got to move off of number 9.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, now Antonio, let's look at this. You have brought in 3 per month at the standard factor of 20%, and they've brought in 2 bigs, one in your left leg, one in your right leg, or e-store 1, e-store 2, and it'll go through all the calculations of the compensation system and what it does. Just for that effort, you could be at 10,000 plus per month. Isn't that attractive?
That is doable.
It really is. And many people are earning much more than that. So quite frankly, you have a difficult time keeping it down below that number, but you don't want to. And just keep in mind that this is 12 months. What happens in 24 months and so on? All this organization just keeps building. The incomes can be very, very attractive. Now, I'm going to just summarily explain how this works here. What happens when you take and you bring in people on this line, what you recruit and your bigs, they generate staff, and they also consume product. Each month on auto ship and so on, one leg could bring in roughly, let's say, 150 points of product, another one 100. Now points, if you've got a product that's say like $85 and it has 600 commissionable volume, then what happens in aggregate, let's say the average person in one leg's 150 and in another leg 100. These again are just estimates. So times all the people that comes down through here times these points, average points, gets you points out here. All right, commissionable volume, and the same thing in your e-store 2. These points are calculated out here, and you have points that to your credit. Now, how does that turn to money? Here's a cycle. A cycle is when, in this case right here in this leg, if we divide 300 into each one of those points per month, and you get cycles. All right, the cycles are here by the 12th month. That's 218 cycles. 218 cycles then in the binary system times $35 gets you your team rewards. The team rewards, in this case, you would have been paid $7,644 for your effort above. That's pretty attractive, isn't it?
So that's how that works.
That's simply how it works. Now, what happens, you're paid again, Antonio. For the same team that you build up here, you get paid again in our unilevel or matching rewards. Now, just for the estimate's sake, let's just assume that you are the Sapphire rank and you're paid down 3 levels in the organization that you have built. You'll get a matching reward. The system will automatically calculate this or estimate this, and what it'll do, the compensation system will calculate the matching rewards on the same team that you built above, and it will give you a matching reward, in this case, of $3,010. Now, let's look up here for a minute. If you find a big that is 6, 7, 10 times more powerful than what you are, I can tell you right now this number here will be much larger. It can actually exceed this number. So you can start seeing some of the variables here that affect the numbers that you'll see in these two boxes right here. Now, when you total that all up, that is $10,654 as an estimate for your efforts. Can you see that?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Now, again, as I said in the beginning, what you can do is we can later have a private session, and I can go through in detail, and we can model this and do it different ways to the point where you really get comfortable with the numbers you have here. For example, you might want to say, I'll start at 1, then 2, and then 3. Maybe I'll get up to 5 for a while, and then 6, and then maybe 8. It's not uncommon to roll it up that way, but for estimating purposes, this is how we're doing it. Now, also, there are many disclaimers here at the bottom that actually explain the assumptions we've made above here. We won't go in these at this point, but you get the relativeness of this number here as it relates to your effort. How would you like to have a pay raise right here?
Well, pay raises are always good.
Okay, let me show you how. Remember this line up here where we said all you do is introduce, train, and coach, ePartners equals money?
Yeah, I remember that.
Look at this little deal right here, train. This is a system that we use. It's a proprietary system for our group. You become a member with us, you get all these power tools. Well, in the industry, most people, they just recruit. They say, read the company site information, the training, and go forward. Only 20% do it. Only 20% succeed. Well, how would you like to say if you take and train your people utilizing the same power tools we have here, let's take and let's just change this number here to 0.25. Okay? Now, what did that do right down here? You've got about a what?
Looks like about a $3,000 increase.
Exactly. So depending on how well you train and you work with your people, you can take and be in charge of your own destiny by raising that number right there. And when that number's higher, guess what? These numbers here should be higher as well, because guess what? The big networkers will use your system as well. So we won't change that any more than that. Let's take and put this back to the standard so we can be somewhat pessimistic in our approach. Now, Antonio, what we're going to do is we're going to slide across here and we're going to go over to what's called our e-commerce cash flow modeler. Now, as you know, we live in a world of time, months. You work per month. Well, what happens, you need to know what your expenses, your revenue, and what your net revenue, your profit is, right?
Right. That's helpful.
Good. All right. What we're going to do, as I said before, we chose the Ambassador Pack, AM, Ambassador Pack, okay? And here's where you choose your pack, and let's choose that. That pack is $1,100, okay? But to start out, everyone gets a starter kit for $50. So $50 plus $1,100 is right here. $1,150 is an expense in your first month. Now, that starter kit's going to give you quite a few things: a website, online back office, ability to bring in other e-commerce partners. It also gives you an excellent flip book that tells you and your prospects the Jeunesse story. You also can get a bracelet or a keychain with a USB connection on it to download current and valuable marketing information, videos, and more. And the beautiful thing about this is you can have current videos, current information you can share with your prospect any place in the world. It's really fantastic. And this can also be used on your computers, and also these systems can show up on your smartphones. In this day and age, the internet has been accessed more times with smartphones than with computers. That is the way things are going. So you can use a manual flip book, you can use your computer, or you can take and use your smartphones to tell the Jeunesse story. Isn't that cool?
So really, I can start my business for less than the cost of a tank of gas?
Yes, you can.
That's
And
pretty amazing.
It really is. And then you can come in and pick one of these packs, or you can do it right now and just get started immediately. The sooner you get started, the better. And I will say this, Antonio, what happens is a lot of times a prospect will say, well, what package did you pick? Well, I picked the Ambassador, or I picked the Jumbo, 1 year Jumbo pack, or whatever. But the key thing is get started and get your business going. Now, what happens once you've done that? Over here, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what packs that you will possibly sell to your people, but we'll address that in a moment. Now, let's look at the expenses. As I said, 11,150 is your first expense. Then let's say that you get an auto ship that starts in your second month, and we just threw in some numbers here. It can increase as you want to try more products. Over here on the right side are the list of the products currently, the cost, and the commissionable volume. Okay, remember what we said before, the average 100, 150, or whatever. It's these points here when different distributors in your organization gets on auto ship, these points total up, and that's what was used in the calculations over there to determine cycles. Now, we just threw in some numbers here, build it up to 300. Other, what can other be? It could be purchase leads, telephone expense, maybe you want to print business cards or brochures or buy brochures, whatever. And then out here in this 9th month, we seem to always have our international conventions. Throw some money in for that. Now, bear with me. You think this is money going out the door. You haven't seen anything yet, Antonio. The revenue can build up very quickly. So starting 1150, 170, and so on, build up. Here we got 500 in your 12th month. That is all the monthly revenue expense that you have. Now, let's look at revenue. We always want to know revenue. Now, from the estimate over there, we brought across your team rewards number, 7,644. Remember that number?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, matching rewards, 3,000. Okay. Now, we had 10,000 over there. Now we got 11,000. Why? Where'd the other money come from? Well, that came from right here, from Fast Start bonuses. That's what I was mentioning here. Now, with the Fast Start bonuses, you are going to take and bring in people, like the 3 per month and so on. What pack do they get? The majority of people come into this business with the Ambassador pack. So you'll see most of the orders here. Some come in with the Jumbo pack and Supreme, Basic, and so on. Well, we've just floated in some numbers in here. So those numbers times the Fast Start bonus is the bonus that totals up on this line down here. So that's how we get the Fast Start bonuses to come across right into here. So those added to the team rewards and the matching rewards is what will give you your total revenue. Now, the net income is subtracting that total revenue from the expenses line is going to give you the net income that you bring in per month. And then you accumulate that. In your first year, you should have been able to bring in around $50,000 in that first year. How's that?
That's pretty good if it's already subtracted my expenses.
That's right. You're in business, Antonio. This is a real business. This is a business not like any other. There are more millionaires made in direct sales than any other line of business or profession in the world. And you take and you look at our company. Our company has made more millionaires in the 4 or 5 years that they've been in business than any other direct sales company in the world. Why is that? You've seen that in the presentations already. We have the products, we have the market, we have the best compensation system, and in addition, with our team, you have tools, you have training, and you have the commitment for us to help you to be a success. This will be your first goal, is the $10,000 per month by your 12th month. But what happens in your second, third, and fourth years? How long do you have to go to before you can say the job that you're on right now, that you can walk away from it? Or you can say, I have a perfect retirement income coming in. I can now fulfill all my dreams. You can do it with Janess and with our team, and we're here to help you. So What's your comments at this point, Antonio?
Well, this is pretty amazing. I never expected this to be this good.
It's very good. And I can say there's many that have done this already, and I know you can do it, and we want you to join our team. And just to put things in focus, I want to just step over here for a moment, and I just want to put it all in perspective. You've seen the presentation, and this is how we do it. And we want to say you can do it. Now, simply this. You have leads or prospects. Prospects, people that you know or can come in contact with. Your upline can give you ideas how to find people to talk to. You can purchase leads and so on. And then there's other ways that we can teach you how to attract um, prospects to come to you. These are the people you talk to. Then when you contact them, some people you just want to notify them, like friends and family, what you're doing. Let them come after you. Others, you're going to want to invite them to the presentations. Others, you're going to send information to them. Others, you're going to meet in person or send them to a meeting. Presentations. You can send them to our recorded presentations. Your upline sponsor or upline persons can talk to them over the phone, meet in person if that's possible. You can meet with them, or you can send them to an event. Now the money, what we've just gone through, we can provide an estimate that's specific to what you believe that you can do. The cash flow gives you a really good representation of what you could expect. You can't just look at it's all just income money, not just revenue. There are expenses, but the net thereof can be your profit. You want to know how quickly you can get a return on your investment. Then the websites, the tools. What happens, you go to the website when you're at this point right now. We want you to buy your pack, get an auto ship. Antonio, we want you to use the product and be a product of the product and then start sharing it. Not only the business opportunity, but we want you to share the opportunity to grow younger. And when they see the results in you, you become a walking, talking billboard. It is so fun. Now, how do we do this? As soon as you join, we send you an instruction email. Tells you how to do it. You get the power tools. We will encourage you to study them. Get into your Jeunesse Global website, study the back office, and then just do the business. Now you simply introduce the business, you train, you coach, and you get rewarded. You get rewarded handsomely. So with that, I want to thank you, and let's get you over to the website. Let's get your pack, get your auto ship, and get you going and start your training.
Well, that sounds really simple. I think I can do it.
Thank you. You said it before I asked you. You can do it. Thank you.